Hi, I'm Carl Griggs from CPC Finance on the Property Journey video series. Today we're in Donington on end of project site with Rob and Jamie from Infinity Properties. Morning, Rob, Jamie.
Morning, Carl.
This site is a property that you bought for a derelict pub a couple of years ago and now transformed it into 18 units.
That's it, yeah.
And when we first met 6-7 years ago, you only had 3 buy-to-let properties.
That's it, yeah.
And now a portfolio of 40 odd properties, 70 units.
Yeah, probably around.
Slightly more than that.
Yeah, probably around.
Accumulating in this big ongoing project.
Yes.
Shortly to be finished.
Yeah.
So tell us about the journey on the way.
So we started off, or we met, obviously you and I, Carl, and we were buying some properties up in Liverpool. For about a year, just bought 5 properties up there, and then Jamie and I met at a family christening of all things, and then we went from there and started. Jamie had already done 1 HMO, and then he did one for me, and then we decided to then form a company, and the journey we went on together then to do more and more.
Throughout the journey, though, you've stepped up every level.
Yeah, so we started with HMOs.
Yeah.
So we bought quite a few of them very quickly. So we accumulated probably 15 to 20 HMOs. Yeah. And then we started to focus on single lets, conversions, flats, buying pubs and converting them into flats.
Yeah.
Some
new builds.
Yeah, some new builds, care homes.
Yeah.
Converting them back into flats.
Along with that, you've also done projects for other people.
Yeah. Carried out HMO conversions for other people as well, yeah.
And then this is the current biggest project you've done to date.
Definitely, yeah.
Which, do you want to tell us a little bit more about?
Yeah, so we bought this property for how much?
240,000.
Yeah, and the GDV at the end is...
2.9 million.
Yeah. And it was just a derelict pub, which will be shown on the pictures.
Yeah.
Been derelict for 20 years.
Yeah.
No life at all for 20 years. A pub, a hotel, and a little nightclub at the back, actually where we're standing now.
Okay. And what have you converted it into?
There's now 18 units in total. 8 of those are new builds out of the ground, and then the rest are conversion, and that consists of 4 barn conversions, 3 terrace houses out of the main pub itself, and then 3 flats out of that as well.
And from purchasing to today,
yep.
What sort of time period are we looking at?
This is our 13th month.
Yeah.
And problems along the way because of the COVID, anything changed?
Not so much due to COVID, not really. We've been able to carry on as normal. We've had problems getting out of the ground. We had to pile where we wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
We've also had added problems with the main building being listed. Just issues around the listing and keeping certain things.
Okay. What about cost of materials? How's that?
Yeah, a lot of materials obviously is you're aware have doubled in a lot of situations, and when you're doing something as large as this, that soon adds up, especially when you're working with existing buildings and you're having to use a lot of timber in the buildings to sort of build out from the walls themselves as well and insulate them.
But with the 18 units, what's your intentions with them now they're coming to completion?
So we've actually sold 12 of them.
Yep.
We sold 12 of them very early on, as soon as we started marketing them. And we're retaining 6 to rent out, which we've just started to advertise today.
So overall, it's a worthwhile project.
Yeah.
Which will leave, by selling the 12, your finance will be paid off.
Correct,
and you're left with 6 units for
Yeah.
your own portfolio.
That's it, yeah.
Sounds great. Any words of wisdom, advice you can give people?
I think you just need to be very open on a project this size to a lot of the unknowns as you get, and obviously bearing in mind that the larger the project, obviously the costs, are incremental from doing a single let. What can go wrong to then, times it by 18 in this case. And obviously, again, conservation area listed building, the initial purchase sounds great, but obviously you're working with a lot of conditions such as, wooden windows throughout, things like that, the cost involved in those are far higher.
You were in a fortunate position at the start that you paid cash for it.
Correct, yes.
Obviously being £240,000. But then with the finance that we arranged, working with Octane Capital, you've been able to draw down to fund all the works.
That's it. Yeah, so part of the condition was with Octane was we'd get the roofs on. So we spent both our own money invested and also private investors that we sourced as well along the journey. And then when we got to the roof level, the Octane valuers came out, valued it, they were happy, and yeah, it was a really, to be fair, they were really easy to work with.
It's been a smooth process.
Yeah.
For finance.
I understand. Well, you really ended up more or less with a personal relationship with one of the
Absolutely.
underwriters, because he comes out and visits regularly
Yeah.
to release the drawdowns.
Correct, yes. Yeah.
So overall, happy with the
Oh,
service.
100%, yeah. So much so that with obviously the increase in cost of materials, etc., that we hadn't necessarily considered to the extreme that they went to, we also had to get an advance borrowing from them on what we initially were looking at doing. And again, they were great, very simple, very easy to work with, and they released the funds when we needed it.
Excellent. And well, hopefully the next project goes on to be as successful. So that's another property journey that we've been on. Slightly different because we've been able to assist them from building a portfolio of 3 properties up to in excess of 40 properties. So watch out for more information on our property journeys on our social media.